Another one of the... So our first heat of the day for the Brat Bike Superminis getting underway. Richard Holmes-Williams starts from pole. Rhys Stevenson third from Lawrence Wardle. Ryan Tyers and Steve Cornwall in sixth position. Jordan Pritchard seventh from David Ferns. Tim Cornwall, Andre Tody at 10th. Stephen Brooks and Nathan Smith in 12th position. 13th for Robert Corbazan, Robin Kyle, Dean Rowland, Shane Hopkins and Mercier Vasil on the 81, rounding out the field. So as we hear the roar of the four strokes in that machine there, one of the 150s I think out there as well, they'll be getting onto the track very shortly. I have been joined by, don't we say pundit or colour commentator using the Americanism, we're very delighted to be joined with Derv Lane, who is competing in the pit bike bets today, but also jumping on the mic as well. And Derv, it was a bit misty and a bit foggy this morning. Tell us about how the track's running today.
Yeah, so this morning it was really foggy when we got up, but left a nice little dew on the track. But the sun's come out. The guys have done their sighting laps this morning. Really grippy track anyway, so there'll be no problems now, for sure.
One thing I always think with this Lydd track as well, when you look at the map, it looks quite tight and technical, but when you watched it, what you just saw in that first race, when you see the bikes on the track, it's quite the opposite. It's actually quite a fast track, isn't it?
Yeah, and firstly, what a great first race that was as well, by the way. Yeah, it's a very fast track. Lots of corners, but it's all high speed, so at best on a four straight, you're knocking down one gear and hoping it grips, so to speak. It's fast, yeah. And
it almost seems one of these tracks where if you're going to make a pass, you've got to almost do it 2 or 3 corners in advance, get the lines right, really.
Yeah, it is very one-liney through here. There's the bottom right-hander as you come back onto the start-finish line is probably one of the best places to pass. But also at the top end of the circuit as well, if you can set it up well and get a good run, you can do it, but it's tight, for sure.
Well, it looks like it's going to be an exciting first race here for the Brat Bike Superminis, of course. Brat Bikes, Lancashire-based company with a lot of the accessories and spares to get these, well, predominantly motocross bikes out here. We've got the 85 two-strokes, 154 strokes making up most of the field. And we discussed this morning, arguably the best power-to-weight ratio of any of the motocross bikes. So as we wait for the flag to drop, and Brat Bike Superminis' first heat of the day gets underway, they pile into that chicane. Oh, 1 or 2 riders going back to their motocross routes there onto the grass, I think they're there.
Yeah, straight over the grass, nice wet grass to start the first lap, just what you want.
And one of the things here as well, it's a very, very short start straight. The pole position ride is pretty much straight into the first corner.
Yeah, you don't get time to blink in there. All concertina's up, so if you can get off the line well, then it helps because everything behind you slows down. So as you can see, there's a nice little break at the front already. Well,
it looked like a good start for Richard Holmes-Williams. Rhys Stevenson in there, Ryan Tyers, Lawrence Wardle, all the big names getting away well as the leaders make their way down towards the hairpin for the first time. Oh, nice move down the inside there and got to cover the exit of the corner to go over the line for the first time.
Took the first place there.
Great start there, and Rhys Stevenson right on his tail in second place. So those two just breaking away slightly from Wardle in third, Steve Cornwall in fourth position, Pritchard, Tim Cornwall, David Fern, Stephen Brooks and Andre Tody rounding out the top 10. As this is starting now to turn into a bit of a battle between Richard Holmes-Williams and Rhys Stevenson in second place.
Two very different bikes as well. So you've obviously got Richard Holmes-Williams on the 2-stroke, and then you've got Rhys Stevenson on a mini pit bike with a 190 engine. So yeah, completely different.
Those 190s coming into this Superminis class as well, and certainly seem fairly competitive.
Yeah, they are. Then they're very torquey as well. So on a short circuit like this, you should be in a really strong position if you can keep it going. Absolutely.
So Richard Holmes-Williams leads the way, and let's see what Rhys Stevenson can do now in second place. Of course, the leader gets to the front, so this may give Stevenson a bit of an advantage now, just to play detective here, look for lines as they make their way into that top hairpin, that long sweeping right-hander that repeats into the final corner, of course, and then this long sweeping chicane. Stevenson just tagging on the back there. These two just breaking away now from Lawrence Wardle in third place. Steve Cornwall, Jordan Pritchard and Tim Cornwall still there, but now really starting to turn into a two-way battle for the lead. This is where Holmes-Williams took the lead last time round. But at the moment, he can't shake off Rhys Stevenson.
Yeah, I think Rhys will probably just sit in behind him now. It's a fairly long race for a first one. As you see him jumping the curbs, brilliant. But if you can stay on the back of him, hopefully he can make a move towards the closing of the race. I think that'll be his tactic on this one.
And I think sometimes here as well, it's almost better sometimes to be in second place. You can just check out the leader, just check out what lines they're using. It's almost a bit like poker, isn't it?
The section they've just gone through now, there's like a little hill. It just drops away from you. Just before you swing into the right and that long left. Unbelievable. Your stomach literally goes into your chest. Amazing.
It's one of these things, you might say, where on the camera angle and when you watch it on the track, it doesn't look that big, but I think when you're on there itself, you really notice that little hump into the corner there.
Absolutely, and because that's, depending on how aggressive you're on the brakes, that is at the braking point, so the rear of your bike is always, it's coming off the ground, it feels quite light, so yesterday's practice sessions, you saw a lot of people struggling in that area.
Well, like you say, it's just the, we'll see them in a moment actually, as Stevenson just drops a little bit, not too much. Holmes Williams' fastest lap of the race, 40.8. They're going to come into this section any moment now. There's the 151 there, 5th position of Pritchard. There we are, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but might potentially unsettle the bike there if you're not careful, and you could use that to your advantage as well.
It does, but you can see like the likes of the guy on screen, Jordan Pritchard at the moment, goes over there, brilliantly set up on the bike, carries loads of corner speed. I think he's the top CRF rider in this race at the moment, so he's having a really good run chasing the two-strokes around. Looking
neat here, definitely got the 2-stroke and 4-stroke battle here. The number 4 of Steve Cornwall on the Husqvarna 85cc 2-stroke. Pritchard just tagging on the back there, and
it's corner speed, see the speed difference is so much quicker through the cones.
A bit of both here, of course, with the 2-strokes and the 4-strokes. It's different power bands, and of course got the engine braking as well on the 4-stroke 150. Not much going on with those 85s. It's all down to the pedal and the brake on this. There's not really much engine braking on the 2-strokes. Different riding techniques, you would say.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you've never rode a 2-stroke, don't rely on the engine braking. I've made that mistake myself and hit a tyre wall. So very different styles. You know, you're going through more gears on the 2-stroke than on the 4-stroke generally as well. So just completely different way of getting around the circuit, but also, as you can see, it makes close racing as well. Yeah, we've got this real dynamic here as they still chase each other. Cornwall still 4th, Pritchard 5th. A bit further down, Ryan Tyers has got past Stephen Brooks into 8th position. Reece Stevenson still tagging on the back of the race leader. There he is, the 1, 2, 3. I think they're just starting to pick their way through 1 or 2 of the tail enders. Who seem to have lost Mercier Vassell. The 81 seems to have dropped out to the reckoning, so starting to close up on Dean Rowland, Shane Hopkins. Those riders just crossing the line now as Holmes Williams breaking away now. So just looking at those lap times there, I think Reece Stevenson, who was going into the final corner, possibly made a mistake. Yeah, it looks like he's dropped off the back a bit. I mean, the mini pit's hard to ride around here. It's got a lot of power and a very little bike, so it's really physical. I spoke to him yesterday, he said how physical it was. But he putting on a great performance. To be second place in this class is some good going, to be fair. Yeah, he's looking strong. He's still there, of course, and Richard Holmes Williams on that KTM 85 can't afford to make any kind of a mistake. It's one of those gaps, really, 1.2 seconds, which sounds a lot on paper, but if he misjudges one of the corners, just makes a mistake, then Stevenson will be right in there with 4 laps to go. So let's have a look at Holmes Williams through the chicane for the first time on this lap. Is he just trying to get his head down here and just trying to pull a gap on Stevenson? Well, Richard Holmes Williams, obviously, he's a seasoned vet in this class. He's fast anyway. He's used to racing with, you know, Dicko, who's normally at the front with him, and battling at the front. So keeping a consistent pace for him isn't going to be a problem. It's just keeping it on 2 wheels, making sure he finishes this first heat and taking the points, I think, now. And it certainly looks like Reece Stevenson has not thrown in the towel, looking well down the track there, trying to tag onto the back of Holmes Williams. Into the final corner he goes. Got a tail ender in front. I think it might possibly be either Nathan Smith or that's the 199 of Robin Kyle, actually, in 12th. So starting to make their way through into the midfield. Lawrence Wardle still in 3rd place. Steve Cornwall. Oh, we've seemed to lost Jordan Pritchard. Tumbling down the order here. Looking at these riders crossing the line, and he's down to about 10th place now, I believe, isn't he? Jordan Pritchard seems to have hit some trouble out there on the track somewhere. Yeah, it looks like he's dropped. I'm not sure why. I've not seen why. It's just seen Ryan Tyers overtake David Ferns, I think. So Ryan's also on a Simoto 190 pit bike as well. So a classic 4-stroke pit bike there. As you can see him here riding through down the hill into the right-hander. You can carry quite a lot of speed into this, and it sets you up for a really long lap. You can see the way he went through there. It was pretty fast, pretty impressive. Nice, good ride, Ryan. Yeah. Yeah, looking smooth through there. And I noticed Shane Hopkins on the 733, just on the back little battle. They're actually on a CR85. I don't see them anymore. They've been out of production for about 10 years now. And no, and he was nervous actually about riding it today because he's not rode it properly in anger. So this is his real first go at it. So he's doing a great job, to be fair to him. So, you know, for all his fans who are watching, and his kid as well, who's here this weekend, there he is. There he is. Yeah. His super helmet, I love that. He's definitely pushing on, and he's getting to grips with the bike by the looks of things.
Yeah, he's certainly holding his own out there. As I look into the top corner now, oh, Rhys Stevenson, incidentally, has set the fastest lap of the race. As we go into the final lap, we should pick them up to the top of the circuit very shortly. As we look at that midfield battle, there was Pritchard there in 10th place, so he's certainly back on the pace. But Richard Holmes-Williams, look at here into the top corner. He's having one last go here to try and catch up with Richard Holmes-Williams. He set the fastest lap of the race last time round, 40.7. And here they come to the final corner any moment now. Rhys Stevenson pushing hard into that last corner, but I don't think it's going to be enough. Here they come into the final corner. Stevenson having a look, but Richard Holmes-Williams over the line. Stevenson second. Well, Holmes-Williams, he did have a look over the shoulder there, didn't he, Dave?
Yeah, he did. One thing about Rhys Stevenson, he will never give up. He's very fast, and I think if Lawrence Wardle comes in third here, that's doing this championship a world of good as well, so a good result for him.
Yeah, it's good for Wardle. Oh, and Steve Cornwell on fastest lap for him on the final lap. Tim Cornwell over the line, just ahead of Ryan Tyers, David Fern, Stephen Brooks, Andre Todier, Jordan Pritchard, Nathan Smith, last rider on the lead lap, I believe, with Robin Kyle and Robert Corbazan going over, Dean Rowland, Shane Hopkins. As we say, we seem to have lost Mercy Basil earlier in the race. Another good race there, Dave, I'd say. Good start to the day. Yeah,
Super Mini class is brilliant. The speed that they travel into these corners and down the straights it's frightening. As I've tried it now as well, I can testify for how quick they go. So someone at the front and someone at the back, the closing speeds are just frightening. It's really fast.
Well, we look forward to them later on today. Moving on, of course, to our next race of the day.